So, I thought I would do another 5 ways to video, and this is going to be 5 ways to use the brand new Nuvo expanding mousse. Obviously there are more than 5 ways to use it, but I just thought I would do a 5 ways to use it. So in my up close video, looking at the Nuvo expanding mousse, I showed you all the different colours. You've got worn linen, grey matter, Tuscan gold, mustard seed, red leather, boatyard blue, Bramley apple and misted mauve. And it gives this gorgeous puffed up effect, so make sure to go and check that video out if you want to know more information about the Nuvo expanding mousse. So let's get on to showing you the 5 different ways to use it. I've written myself a little list so I don't forget. So firstly, mixing your own colours. There are 8 colours in the collection, but you don't have to stick to those 8 colours. So let me just find you some of my examples where I've mixed my own colours. So this one is an ombre of colours, and this is mixing your own colours but using the actual colours that come in the collection. So here I've used the boatyard blue and the worn linen. So I've started with worn linen, then I've used a mixture of the two of them together to create a nice light blue, and then I've moved down into the boatyard blue to give that gorgeous ombre effect. I will talk about other aspects of this card within the other 5 things as well, so I'm just focusing on mixing your own colours at the moment. So that's one way to mix your own colours. But yeah, same way, mixing 2 of the existing colours together. This was mixing red leather and the worn linen together. Obviously more worn linen, a tiny bit of red leather gives you this gorgeous light pink colour. So that's again mixing the 2 colours together. But you can also mix your worn linen with your Nuvo Aquaflows. Obviously you don't want to add too much extra liquid to them, but it does work. So actually let me find this. This was my original test doing this. This was True Turquoise, one of the newer colours of the Aquaflows, mixed with the worn linen, and look how gorgeous that looks. So then I thought, well, I'd quite like a yellow. I know there's a gold, but I thought I'd quite like a yellow or an orange, so for this one I mixed Mango Mimosa to begin with, then I mixed in some spiced orange, is it called? Spiced ginger, then I mixed in a little bit of red apple, and then I started mixing in the Tuscan gold with the red apple, and then straight down to the Tuscan gold as well. So a really good like 5 colour ombre, mixing your own colours. So that was the first way of using the brand new Nuvo expanding mousse. Okay, my second way for using the Nuvo expanding mousse is to add in some glitter or embossing powder before you heat it. I've done quite a few samples like this because I really like this effect. So this one I'd used some of the Nuvo Pure Sheen Ice White glitter, which is a slightly chunkier glitter. But it works really, really nicely. This one I had used the Gold Shine Nuvo Sparkle Dust to give that really delicate gold sparkle within it. Then for this one I sprinkled in the Gold Enchantment Nuvo Glitter Embossing Powder to give this cool look. I'm calling this look the encrusted Nuvo mousse because I really love the way it looks. It looks like gems growing in rocks or something. It's really cool. So that's that. Then on the edge of this one I did the same kind of thing, giving that encrusted edge, but I used the Paradise Blue, yes, Paradise Blue Nuvo Sparkle Dust. I just sprinkled some of that in while it was still wet, and I think, oh, that's another one doing the encrusting with the Gold Enchantment as well. But that's, yeah, so that's the second way of using the Nuvo expanding mousse, mixing in glitters or embossing powders or glittery embossing powders. So the third way is to scrape the mousse through a die cut. I know that sounds a little bit weird probably, but I think I've only got 2 examples of this, yes. So, this was the first one that I did. This is the, I've forgotten the name again, Deco Square. This is the Deco Square layering die set, and I've cut one of the frames. I cut it from white card. I cut the intricate from white card, and I cut the solid frame from white card, stuck them both together, scraped the Bramley apple through, and then heated it, and then added an extra die cut over the top. I really love the look of this. This was the first full card I made with the mousses, and I really love that look. It looks really cool. So I'm sure I will be doing that again. And then I thought, well, I've used it through an intricate die cut, will it work through a more solid die cut too? And it does. So these are the hearts from the wonderful waterfall cascading heart die set from Tonic as well, and these are little button hearts from one of their really old sewing themed die sets too. So this was red leather, just putting it straight through, and then this was the mix of red leather and the worn linen. So that's the third way of using the brand new Nuvo expanding mousse. So my fourth way, you've probably seen it on a few of these cards. Let me find the ones where I have used it. Okay, so this was the first card I did this technique on. I was like, I really want the sentiment to match the card, so I was like, well, can I get the mousse to work on a sentiment? I thought, well, I'll just give it a go. So I'd cut this sentiment out of blue card, and then all I did was take some of the mousse and just literally put some on my finger, dabbed it across, and then heated it, and you got this really wicked puffed up sentiment. It looks so cool. So that was the first one that I did, and I loved it so much. I was like, well, this card needs it too. So that kind of looks like flocking on this one, which is really, really nice. And then I used it on the bottom word too. And then sort of mixing my second way with this way, I dabbed the mousse on, but then I sprinkled in some of that sparkly gold embossing powder as well to create a sort of encrusted word. I think it looks like sort of rusting metal or something. It looks really, really cool. So that's my fourth way of using the brand new Nuvo expanding mousse. Okay, and the final way in this video for how to use the Nuvo expanding mousse, this is like just scraping it with a spatula rather than, or with a palette knife, rather than using a stencil or, you know, putting it onto something, just literally scraping it onto your card. I could also include these cards with that, because to get this encrusted edge, all I did was scrape some of the mousse onto the card with the palette knife, and then I sprinkled the glitter or the embossing powder in it. So that's one version of it. Another way is to just scrape a tiny amount onto the edge of your card and puff it up just to give a sort of border to your card. So that's another way of doing it. And then this was the main way for the fifth way to use it. This was misted mauve. Then this was misted mauve mixed with a little bit of baked cherry Nuvo Aquaflow. And then this was the mustard seed colour. So I just scraped some on, giving it thinner and thicker areas, just using a palette knife. And then I heated it up, and then I decided I wanted a window in this panel, so I die cut it, and it still looks amazing. I mean, it did squash this down. This was raised, and you can see it's now pretty much flat, but the texture's still there. So even though these were raised in little blobs, because it went through the die cutting machine, it squashed it, but the texture's still there. Like, so the actual pattern that it created is still there. So that's my fifth way of doing it. I wouldn't do a big panel and try and cut a sentiment out, because a sentiment die is solid usually. So the bit where the sentiment is usually a solid piece of metal, so I think it would really squash it then. But when you're just using a basic shape die, it's alright. So yeah, that's the fifth way of how to use the Nuvo expanding mousse, just giving you a few ideas of different ways that you can use it. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and don't forget to go and check out the close-up video on the Nuvo expanding mousse as well, to hear more in depth of you know, how it works and everything, and the different colours that you get. But I hope you enjoyed the video, so thanks for watching, bye!